For the entirety of 2024, I am recording my full Magic playing life in this little black book, and here is what August gave us. So, August was quite a sedate month in my Magic playing life, to be honest. Not a huge amount happened outside of some admittedly really quite good games. Well, partially that is also because, frankly, I mentioned last month about the Sad Tide and that Bernard deck that I've got, which is currently still locked in my mailbox because I've been too ADHD to get a locksmith. Yay. Uh, though I did actually do some things. The big one that I did was with Bloomburrow and all that stuff coming out, I built Gev on Arena, and it's really quite fun. I need to tinker with the deck more. It's definitely not 100% there. It's still lacking a few things, but just having a nice, fun little like red-black aggro deck full of dinky little weirdos, it's great. And it does kill quite consistently as well. I just wish there was a bit more oomph to put behind it, but I need to find stuff to put into that deck, essentially. I've got too many big mana cards, which I'm used to Commander, where those things get cast. Brawl, not so much, especially in an aggro deck, where I'm intending to be killing them, like, turn 3, 4, 5. So, I think I need to do a bit of a reshuffle on that one. Speaking of reshuffling, actually, I gave some of my paper decks a bit of a revamp, a rejig. And speaking of lizards, one of those was my Abaddon the Despoiler deck, my Cascade Burn deck, where the Bloomburrow lizards actually work really well. I'm talking stuff like Flamecash Gecko, Gev, Iridescent Vine Lasher, Hearthborn Battler, those kind of ones, where essentially if I Cascade off of one of my bigger burn spells that Abaddon gives Cascade, and then go down into, say, the Flamecash Gecko when there's already been damage dealt, Flamecash Gecko just casts for free, give me a black and a red. Fantastic. And it's all those kind of effects that make Abaddon tick really nicely, and I need to get a couple more of them. I don't have all of the lizards I want for that deck yet, but there's something there. I also gave Otrimi a couple of extra things. The big one was Scurry of Squirrels. That's how I knew about it for my episode a few weeks back. And the real big one was Omo. So the Omo Precon, I've already given it some upgrades to change out the land base a bit, have some cards in there that care about deserts and whatnot. But then one of the people at my LGS also played an Omo deck and cast a spell against me, which as soon as I got home, I found my copy of it and put it straight into my Omo deck. Genesis Wave. That card is dumb, and it's especially dumb when you're like cloning cloud posts and getting Tron for free. Yeah, I have won several games just off the back of that one card include. It's very, very nice. And what we're all here for? The games. So I played 12 games, and I won a whopping 5 of them. A 42% win rate is wild. And, well, 3 of those wins were Omo. That Genesis Wave include, wild. If you have Omo, put a Genesis Wave in there. If you want to buy a Precon, buy Omo and put a Genesis Wave in there. It's ridiculous. All 3 of those wins were Genesis Wave, at least adjacent. I think one of them was a Dark Depths combo Marit Lage win, which is in the Precon. Again, buy Omo. She's dumb. And the other 2 wins, one was Abaddon, showing that the upgrades in there were also helping. And then the final one was my Villas Broker of Blood deck, where I managed to live the dream. I got down to 0 life with a Lich's Mastery on field, and then repaid in kind to set everybody's life total to the lowest, aka 0. It was great fun. I wanted to do that for so long. And there is a game that I do want to mention, which wasn't a win, mainly because this game went to time. because at my LGS we have to put time on Commander games, otherwise we could get like one game in a night because we're waiting for one table, yada yada yada. So, I was playing Direct Scrap Savant. One of my opponents played Bloodroot Apothecary, which is the squirrel that gives poison counters when artifact tokens are sacrificed. And we're also playing under a Blind Obedience from another player. And essentially, I found the most intricate, delicate way, since I wasn't going to win, of taking myself out the game. Mine was the last turn in turns anyway, so I figured why not. And so I had the dockside in hand, but I couldn't tap and sack my treasures, so instead I found a grinding station and sacked my treasures in that way. And it was so dumb, but I wanted to get to 10. I wanted to get to 10 poison, and I did. So, well, hey. This is why I like Magic, because you can do dumb stuff like that, and it's a good story to tell rather than looking like an absolute maniac. So yeah, that's been my month in Magic. I do still need to get Sad Tide out of his poor metal box. And that's it. I think September is shaping up to be a more interesting one, just because if I can get Sad Tide out, that's one deck. I've got another one that I've been cooking up that I'm going to tell you about later. So, that's been my month in Magic. Ciao.